Make no mistake, Putin is responsible for Navalny's death. Putin is responsible. What has happened to Navalny is yet more proof of Putin's brutality. No one should be fooled, not in Russia, not at home, not anywhere in the world.
That was President Biden reacting to the shocking death of one of Russia's most prominent opposition leaders. Imprisoned Putin critic Alexei Navalny dead at the age of 47. Russia's Federal Penitentiary Service saying Navalny lost consciousness after taking a walk in a remote Arctic prison where he was serving a lengthy sentence for multiple charges that he claimed were politically motivated due to his criticism of Russian President Vladimir Putin. His wife speaking today at the Munich Security Conference, calling on the world community to unite and defeat what she called the horrific regime that is now Russia, and saying that Vladimir Putin must be held personally responsible. Let's bring back our panel, Mike, John, Alencia, and LZ. Alencia, Biden spoke out about Navalny's death, but do these words mean anything? What else can the administration do?
Well, listen, I think his words were very strong and forceful in showing not only the American people, but the world where the U.S. stands on Putin and his tactics against the people who are his opposition. And, you know, President Biden also does a really good job of talking about the humanity and obviously what this means, this loss of life. But I think it was a really strong statement from him that, if we look politically, is a contrast to the way that Donald Trump cozies up with our enemies and the way that he cozies up with Putin and Russia.
Now, John, GOP House Leader Mike Johnson put out a statement calling Putin a vicious dictator and says that he must be met with united opposition. But at the same time, the GOP-led House is stalling on aid to Ukraine. Can you explain what's going on with your former colleagues in Congress?
No, I can't. Quite frankly, no, I cannot. It blows my mind that we're not doing everything we can to allow Ukraine to fight for itself. And make no mistake about it, Putin does nothing by accident. He waited for the right time to send a message to the other dissenters that are growing within Russia over the Ukrainian war that this is going to be your fate as well if you decide to step out of line. He's a vicious thug who went into Ukraine and has committed such unbelievable atrocities. And the fact that we're not giving them the money right now so that they can fight for themselves just means that we're gambling that we may have to end up fighting in the future World War III if he decides to go to another country after he conquers Ukraine. It's insane, and it's really bad foreign policy.
And LZ, is this simply a reminder of who Vladimir Putin is?
Absolutely. I mean, consider the timing. You know, right now, Tucker Carlson is like trying to pretend as if Moscow is the latest tourist example to go to. He's been trying to whitewash the history of Vladimir Putin. And this happens during that exact same time, which lets you know just how little Vladimir Putin actually cares about what we think of him to begin with. But it's a good reminder that he is a vicious dictator who kills the opposition.
And Mike, Navalny's death, it's a severe blow to Russia's opposition. Where does Navalny's death leave the Russian people?
Where it leads the Russian people, I mean, that's a really great question. I mean, it's Putin is sending, as John brilliantly mentioned, it's putting on notice his dissenters to let them know that what he is capable of doing when people go up against him. And in particular, as we're looking at the instability of the geopolitical process right now, and when we're seeing the United States and NATO really trying to figure out what is going to be their response, both in terms of operationally and financially, in order to support Ukraine going forward. What I thought was really strong in Biden's remarks today was when he discussed and really began to pivot to put the pressure on Congress to pass the aid package that is needed to go into Ukraine, and so that Ukraine will have the resource that it needs, because all reports is looking that if Zelensky does not have this financial support, he will run out of the capability by the end of the year to mount a defense against Russia. And if that was to happen, where does that leave NATO and NATO member countries, and also to further the full vision that Putin has to further Russia's advancement in Eastern Europe? And so that is what really stood out to me from President Biden's remarks today, was really using it to pivot, to put the pressure on Congress to pass additional aid. All
right, Mike, John, Alencia, and LZ, thank you again very much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.